Bainvabu, a brand new university learning experience in the heart of Mabu. The Gaelic Foundations program is a first-year university learning experience in partnership with Cape Breton University. Immerse yourself in community, delve into a rich and living culture, and learn about the world through the viewpoint of the Gaels as you begin your next learning journey. Classes begin September of 2023. Bainvabu, we welcome you to an educational experience like no other. For more information, click your way over to bainvabu.ca.
So these are the bagpipes, and to be more specific, the Great Highland bagpipes. There's a lot of different types of pipes in the world. Almost every region in Europe developed its own take on bagpipes. So these were what was developed in Scotland over centuries. One of the more recognizable pipes out there just because of their influence in the British Army. This is what you'll have seen in parades or at funerals and weddings. They're quite popular. And I'll give you a little overview of how they work. Basically, you have a blowpipe that you blow into with a one-way valve at the end. So you fill up this bag as a reservoir, and then you force the air out with this elbow. And your whole aim is to keep the stream as constant as possible and the pressure as constant as possible. When you're forcing the air out, you force them out through the other pipes. These pipes that are on my shoulder are called drones, and they just produce that one long monotone note that you hear throughout the melody. And the longer one is a bass drone, so that'll produce a B flat in this case for this instrument. And then the tenor drones will produce the same note, but an octave higher. Then the melody comes out of this pipe called the chanter. And there's a number of holes on there. And inside the casing here is what we call the reed. And it's a double-bladed cane reed, much the same as an oboe reed. It has two tongues of cane. As the air passes through it, it vibrates and produces sound. And like any other woodwind, there's a bunch of holes on it, and the longer the sound has to travel down the pipe, the deeper the note, the lower the note is. So there's 9 notes in the pipe scale, so it's a little limited in that sense, and it's also limited as an instrument because there's only one volume, fairly loud, and you can't get louder, you can't get quieter, it's just one volume all the time. So to introduce dynamics into the music, we use a lot of gracing and ornamentation, and also to separate notes because you can't stop the melody. Once you're started, it's always playing melody. So to separate the notes, you use a lot of those gracings, and that gracing and ornamentation is something that really identifies pipe music. And that ornamentation, you still see it in the fiddle music and the music we know around here and in Scotland. It's informed a lot of the stylings that we use and the ornamentation that we use on the fiddle or any instrument.
I'm Roz. And I'm Jen of Super Duper Soup. Began about 5 years ago. It started when one friend asked me to make a bowl of soup. We were both laid off, And the next week, more friends ask for more soup. And the next thing we know,
bing bang boom, we're working out of the Boys and Girls Club kitchen once a week doing deliveries. Did a trade show and it just went crazy from there. So we were like, we need to find our own space.
We're a small business, and when you start a small business, not really ever having been in this industry before, we had no idea what was involved.
You don't know what you don't know. Dealing with the East Coast Credit Union, it's just been so easy.
They're more than a bank. It's not every bank that knows your name. It's not every bank that comes and helps and brings you products that you didn't even know existed.
Yeah, they know more than just our business. They know us and they know what we need. They're just a part of our team and they're there to help you. They want you to succeed.
They have a small business program and they get what small business is in Nova Scotia. Community means everything.
We feel very supported by not only the East Coast Credit Union, but our community in downtown Dartmouth as well. Building the relationship with East Coast Credit Union, I just know that going forward, they'll still be there for us. They'll continue to support us, not only as customers, but bringing us new products that will help us grow and continue to survive.
Is it? Okay, no, it's not. It doesn't matter. I'll start.
Say something there, man.
Hello, hello, hello. I could probably just go like this. Hello, hello.
Is it the one with the yellow? I don't know which one it is.
There's nothing on indicating. Check, check. Hello. Here we are. Just about. Welcome, one and all, to the Brador Yacht Club. You're in the right place tonight. Here we are. We're in Baddeck. We are. This is an unusual endeavor a bit, but not unusual to have tunes here for sure. But this is a Wednesday night Ceilidh, presented by College to Gaelic, the Gaelic College, and we've been hitting the road this last, I guess, since the new year. And so going to a few different places. And tonight we're in Baddeck, and we've got Baddeck's own Rachel Davis playing for us. Along with Rachel's husband, Darren McMullen, all the way from Halifax.
That is his official.
The hubby. Yeah. These two, of course, play here often and play everywhere all the time. And we're just so lucky that they're in the neighborhood and we got to have tunes with them tonight. So the plan is just to sit back, relax. We're going to probably go about an hour's worth, I think is the plan. Maybe some tunes and songs and chat. and some beverages, and chat amongst yourselves and make yourself at home. And we're online, and this will be on the college's page on Wednesday. And welcome. We're so glad you're here. Should we start with some tunes, you think?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Do it. I don't really do
I'm not a fan of
pull that mic over, Rach. I'm wondering what some of those tune names are, if you know them off the top, because there's some interest. They're great tunes.
That's a good question. I can't remember the name of the first one. I think I learned the first one out of the Winston Scotty book.
Right on.
The second one I think was the Canadian Club.
Okay.
I believe that was on a buddy recording,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. The third jig was I do know that one, the Diplodocus. That's a Liz Carroll tune.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. That's a really fun one. And I don't remember the last one is a pipe jig, and I can't remember the name of that one either. So I didn't really give you a whole lot of information.
No, it's great. Rachel finds these gems and goes, there's modern mixed in with the old classics, and you're great for finding really interesting tunes. So
Margie's great at making you feel really good about yourself.
it's the truth. It's the truth. So we'll get chatting throughout. I know a lot of folks here would already know a lot of the answers to any questions that I ask you, but yes, and also for our Wednesday Night Ceilidh audience online, they've been watching you all perform our Ceilidhs for a long time, and seeing you everywhere else, but it's I guess a good chance to learn a bit about your own learning and your background here as a bass, how you got started with fiddle, living here in Baddeck.
Yeah, well, I first learned from my grandfather, who lived right here in Baddeck as well. He was the barber here for 50, I want to say, I'm looking at my mom, I want to say 52 years maybe.
Wow.
And he originally had his barbershop on the main street and then moved it up to his house up at the top of Queen Street. And again, used to play in his barbershop all the time, and that was, I heard him play from the time I was really young. So I when I was a kid, I would just kind of spin around in the barber chair while he was practicing. And then when I got older, I kind of started learning from him a bit, and that was where I took all my fiddle lessons after school. And then, I went to I've been seeing lots about the Cape Breton Fiddlers Association lately because they're having their big anniversary, and I went to a lot of those practices with my grandfather when I was first starting, and I learned tons. Actually, some of those jigs that I played, I think I learned through the Fiddlers Association, so that was a huge part of learning too. I took lessons with Karen Beaton in Mabou for quite a few years. And just was really fortunate and took lots of classes at the Gaelic College as well, and had a ton of amazing teachers there, including Buddy McMaster and Jerry Holland, and it was wonderful. Yeah.
Well, and remind us of your grandfather's name again.
Clarence Long.
So Clarence, do you know anything about where he would have learned, or who he was playing with?
He grew up in North Sydney with all of his brothers and sisters, and his brother Kilmer was a fiddle player as well. His brother Alec was a guitar player, and my grandfather kind of did both guitar and fiddle, I guess. And I think, if I remember right, one of them was kind of going to lessons, and then they'd come home and teach the rest of them whatever they had learned that day, kind of thing. So they kind of all used to play together for dances in and around North Sydney and stuff like that. If I remember right, I think that was mostly just kind of stuff that they all kind of taught each other, if I remember right.
Yeah, and they had other friends, like, you ever hear of Elmer Briand?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, he was a good friend of Kilmer's.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they
Friends
knew
of
a lot of
them,
a lot of the fiddlers from that side.
Right.
Yes. Yeah,
You have to
good
have friends, eh? You
Yeah.
gotta pal around. In life, but especially with music, it's better when played together. And what happened to, say, instruments that were passed along in the fam?
Expert of segues, Margie Beaton. I was super lucky growing up because my grandfather had a vast kind of collection of fiddles, and I was never wanting for an instrument, I guess, because it seemed, again, everybody in his family seemed to play, and then when they would pass on, my grandfather would kind of accumulate the instruments, so he had a good 4 or 5 fiddles under his bed that I kind of had to choose from.
Wow.
So I think when I started, I was using his uncle's fiddle, and then I moved on to his brother's fiddle, and now since my grandfather passed away, I've used his ever since. So, and his was always my favorite because it was always just had a really nice sound. And Darren's playing Grampy's guitar actually. So yeah, there was kind of a whole slew of instruments in the house. We were very, very lucky that way.
Oh my goodness. Well, there's nothing that would be more a feeling of connection and pride to have shared instruments, I would think.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, we're so lucky as far as that goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Darren, we'll get to you in a bit. We're gonna play.
No, there's no rush.
We want to keep people in suspense. Like, what about that fella? You know. We'll get
That's what it is. Yeah.
What's he all about? Would you like to play another group or want to sing or what would you like?
Maybe a selection or two.
Let's play together again. We don't want you to go anywhere yet.
My selection.
Not playing. It'll be a selection.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Do you want to stick with A? Is A good?
Whatever you do.
Who doesn't love A?
That is the best way to warm up on a cold winter's night.
Indeed.
So
That
good.
is true.
She knows what she's doing. All right, Rachel Davis.
Yeah, right.
Well, one thing we should pan around a little bit, Ryan, to this beautiful venue that we're in as well. Big thanks to the Yacht Club for having us in. We're just kind of throwing their Tuesday night plans around, I'm sure, here a little bit, but it's a beautiful venue and a big part of the village feel here, and the dance floor is just right there, and within camera angle we can get you on TV if you want.
TV!
We'll send it to CTV.
Up Home Tonight 2.0.
Yeah, we like to think we're Up Home Tonight 2.0, that's right. So, Rach, would it be misleading to mention that there's plans in the works, or anything that you want to mention to the audience of what you might be working on? Why, yes. It's an exciting time.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Darren and I have been doing a lot more playing around together. We got married, so then we figured, I guess we better do some stuff together.
Makes sense.
So yeah, we're in the midst of recording a record, our first record as a duo that we're aiming to have out in July-ish.
Nice.
I think that's the plan. And just saying, Margie Beaton plays on the record, just throwing that out there.
I was going to say the real excitement is the special guests that are on the record.
Yes.
And others.
No, just Margie.
It's all about you.
Yeah, great.
That's what we're going to call the record.
Margie Beaton.
Margie Beaton.
The crowd's real excited. You might want to rethink your marketing plan there. But yeah,
Can we input some audience applause?
Woo! Throw that on the video.
Just cut to the
Just
shot
like
of Freddie
pre-
Mercury at Live Aid.
Yeah, that'll do it. But July, that's exciting. So
Yes.
we'll be looking out for it for people coming around this summer, and then you'll be, of course, having a busy summer once again. And actually, you're busy right now as well, doing this really cool project through Celtic Colors as well.
Yeah, Darren and I have played a lot in schools thanks to Celtic Colors. They have just a wonderful, Yvette Rogers, who does their outreach coordination, plans a lot of school shows throughout Cape Breton, which is such a treat to be able to do those. I feel like we've played almost every school on the island at this point. They're probably all tired of us. But yeah, it's been wonderful, and actually this coming weekend I'm teaching at the Gaelic College for their first March break session, which is super exciting.
Yeah, we're pumped. March break is a really special time at the college, and as is this time. I love that Celtic Colors is in the schools, around Celtic Colors Festival, but also, in this off season, because this off season is really important, I think, for cultural development. For our own people and our own sake, and what we do that ramps us up for the busy on season. So I'm so pumped that you're so accessible to the young ones to see what's possible. That's the whole idea.
It's so much fun. Yeah, I know. And there's so many of we've been finding out, I think, since we've been going into all the schools, just how great all the band programs are. My gosh, the band programs on the island are just incredible. They're
right?
like full tilt. Like the music teachers are fantastic, and the kids have just been super keen about music, and it's so refreshing to see that. With budget cuts and all the things that end up kind of getting removed from schools, it's such a great thing just to see all the spots that we've been to, I feel like, have been really thriving. So it's been, really awesome to see that.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the best, and especially educating young ones to have musical appreciation and have that as part of their lives, hopefully for the long haul too.
Yeah, and I'm so looking forward to the March break session. The March break at the Gaelic College was my real first introduction to the Gaelic College when I was this scared little 12-year-old that wouldn't talk to anybody. But I had the best time that weekend though, and had the best teacher. So I always, the March break session, I hold it in my heart very closely because it's always a lot of fun.
Oh, that's nice. I love that you have that memory as well, because sometimes you think, oh, maybe the kids aren't gonna get a lot out of it, or they're not gonna remember this, but it stays with you, which is the
Yes,
best.
I got a lot out of it for sure, and I didn't know anyone at the time, and my mom registered on the weekend so that I would have someone to sit with at lunch, and she took Chanter for the first time in a long time.
Yeah. That's a good mom.
I took it when I was little.
Did you? Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I took piping and then took it again when she was gone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, Darren, we'll get to you in a bit. Oh, I'm sorry, we ran out of
There
time.
really is not a rush.
I'm going to ask you some math questions and science questions. No, you won't. But we will get. But I keep talking, so I'll let you guys take it away. If you feel like, would you sing us a little something, maybe?
Sure.
I have to put you on the spot, and then we'll get back.
Yeah, what should we... what should we do?
We're so well rehearsed.
I know, clearly.
What do you want to?
I don't know. That's usually the first one we think of is David Francie because we love him so much. This is scary. I don't think I've sung in here in a long time. Yeah, so we're just gonna sing a little David Francie song because anybody that's seen us before probably has heard us talk about David because we love him so much. He's a wonderful singer-songwriter originally from Scotland, but lives in Ontario, and Darren's had the good fortune of playing in his band for quite a few years, and when we got married this past summer, he sang me down the aisle, and I will forever hold that as one of the greatest memories of all time. I mean, it was great to marry you and everything, but that was great. But he sang me down the aisle, and that was so exciting.
This is my night.
No, we're happy you're here. But
We're happy you're here, but...
Play your guitar, yeah, play.
But no, honestly, David's a great friend of both of ours, and just the absolute sweetest soul and one of the best songwriters, one of our absolute favorite songwriters. And so this has, been one of our favorites for a while, called The Waking Hour.
I wake to the radio morning news, just as the day is dawning, and I watch from the window while a passing car doors are hopeful morning, and I wonder whether I've seen love's face, and I understand it so. For every love I've ever had has always meant to know. Though I'm Wednesday's child and fool, I try not to be ungrateful. But I was born a midnight black, when the heart can be hateful, and the heart that's breaking never makes a sound. And the heart that's breaking never makes a sound. Oh, and the heart that's breaking never makes a sound.
Oh, thank you, Brian. Oh, have a drink. Drink up, everybody.
Margie did say drinks at one point.
She did. Margie gave you permission, so you're fine. Oh dear. I don't know. We were saying beforehand that we've been stuck in recording land. It's been so long since we've actually played for real people. In recording land, if you make a mistake, you can just stop and do it again.
We do that a lot.
We do that a lot, yeah. Do you want to do those new jigs? Like the new-ish jigs? The D ones and the E one?
Yeah.
New jigs from the new CD that we're playing in front of people for the first time. Online! Nothing like pressure.
Nothing like recording live tunes that you haven't actually.
That you've never, yeah, great, perfect, love it. So yeah, these are, let me think now. The first one is called Faithful Laya, which is by Elmer Deagle, I believe. And what's the middle? The middle jig, I think, is an Irish tune. What's the name of it again? You know this one. You picked this.
It's the guy's name.
You don't know. Anyway, it's Darren picked it. It's an Irish tune.
His last name is Ward. I don't know.
Jimmy.
Jimmy Ward's favorite.
Perfect, nailed it. Jimmy Ward's favorite. And then the last one is a phenomenal B minor jig called All in the Name of Jane, which is by Jen Butterworth from over in Scotland. She's amazing. Really just killing time till he gets that thing in tune. How you doing?
Good. I think.
Does this one start? You start.
Oh, no. We'll start.
No.
Yeah, no.
Here's the
I'll
band.
pick along at some point.
Here's the band.
All right. Oh dear.
Just like we rehearsed it.
exciting?
That's really good.
Oh, I'm sweating now. Oh, exciting. Scary. Exciting.
Jimmy Ward's.
Yeah.
I can
Really
confirm
nailed
that.
that one. What do you want to feel like doing now? Yeah. Would you mind if we played your tune?
Yeah? Or no? Go for it.
We were looking at new tunes to do for the record, and Margie had sent me a voice memo recording of her playing this just like a year ago or 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, it was for one of these Ceilidhs.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And anyway, I went into Rachel and I said, "Here, listen, this is this Margie tune," and we were both like, "Holy crap, that's a great tune!" So it's going to be on the new record.
Yes, and it's
On
awesome.
our new record called Margie B. Tunes in the key with Margie B.
And don't you put it with another tune? Of Rachel's?
Some other tune? This set's super fun because Margie's tune is amazing, and then we go into a reel that I wrote right after that, and then into a great corker of an Irish tune, I believe. It's called The Antrim Rose. What's the name of your jig again, Margie?
Oh, I forget.
Well, if you don't know, who does?
No, I'll figure it out. And when they buy the album, then they'll find out.
Then they'll know. Nice. She's got that salesmanship under control.
Jimmy Ward's son, yeah.
Anyway, so yes, this is another new one too, which is, the best part of it is the fact that we get to play Margie's tune because it's so great.
I'm listening close. I'm right here.
Oh, it made me nervous.
Just kidding.
Give me a check.
That's a great reel. Oh my gosh. Can I, is it okay to ask you a question or two, Darren? How are you doing for time? I should keep an eye on the clock. I'll come over and give us some more of that hard-pressing journalism. Yeah, my Barbara Walters in depth. Are you having a good time? Are you enjoying yourselves? That's good. Thanks again for coming. Part of the what we've been enjoying is just kind of going a little looser style of Ceilidh with these online, on the road kind of series, and getting to chat and getting to know these folk. And so yeah, Darren, in case people don't know, you are from what's the specific place where you grew up?
Hardwood Lands.
Hardwood Lands,
Yeah.
which is closest to Truro.
It's right in between Halifax and Truro.
Right on.
On the old road that goes down to Windsor.
On the old road, yes, yeah. And your first instrument, though, of all the instruments that you play,
Piano.
piano.
Yeah. My mom's the choir director and organist at church, so there was always piano at the house. She was always playing, and so I was kind of digging in and trying to figure things out. And my dad and all of his brothers played guitar and sang. So it's kind of a Saturday night, Sunday morning, lots of music in the house kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. I've got it from both sides, sort of funneled in there.
Right, of course. Yeah. And then by the time in high school and that, you're probably starting in bands, and then there's Halifax, lucrative scene right nearby, and it just all became part of life.
Yeah, well, I went into Halifax and I didn't know anybody and I didn't have a band.
Okay.
But a friend of a friend kind of thing knew of a band that was looking for somebody, and I didn't even realize they were a Celtic band. I was playing bass at the time. I was a bass player. And I joined up with those guys and then started listening to mandolins and fiddles and penny whistles and banjos and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is more like what I want to be doing. And that's, yeah, I've been doing that ever since.
Right. And in the time since, you've been playing with a few good acts over the years, would you say?
I've been pretty lucky, yeah.
You've been on, well, and playing locally, but also on the road, touring with the likes of a J.P. Cormier, a Matt Anderson, am I right?
Yeah.
David Francie, as you mentioned. You did a tour with the Rankin family, their reunion tour. Who am I forgetting?
Margie Beaton.
I just wanted to make sure that came up.
came on tour with us this past Christmas.
There was a couple of Celtic colors. I was a Beaton sister.
That's true.
And I was a Mackenzie brother. All in one.
You
one
should
year.
have a business card. Can be your.
That is what's on my
your
business
salad.
card.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
I've
of
been
course.
really lucky to be able to play with the people that I played with.
Yeah.
And then, and even still, like, there's tons of fiddlers that I still get to play with. I mean, Rachel and I obviously play together all the time, but yeah, it's just great.
Yeah. And then Coig came along, and that's been. Where's the cheek? And Coig has been since 20. I should know the year.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I think 2012 was when we did our first, I want to say 2012 was when we did our first festival together.
Yeah.
So 10 years.
Right, because
Over 10 years.
when
And it was actually Festival Club that got us the whole thing. We were called Taste of Celtic Colors, and we were sort of traveling around doing promotional stuff for the festival. And then, but we didn't weren't a band or anything. And but every time we were all together, we would play if we could. And there was one year at Celtic Colors, it was Festival Club night, and we were all there. We weren't really scheduled, but we were all there, so we all got up and played. And Davey from Shetland was at the bottom of the stairs when we came off, and he said, "What's your band's name?" And we said, "Well, we're not really a band. We did this thing, and then we were just hanging out." And he says, "We'll get a name. You're coming to Shetland."
one of the best festivals going.
Yeah, between them and Milwaukee, there was a few festivals on that weekend, or at that festival, Celtic Colors, that said, you know, if you guys had a name and wanted to, you guys could do, you know, be a band. So we said, well, let's do that.
You think?
Yeah.
And it
cool.
changed, yeah, it changed your lives. Really?
That's where I met her.
Yeah. Ooh.
Scandal.
That's band life for you. And actually I had the good fortune of hopping on the road with these cats for a co-ed Christmas tour. And there were people in the audience, I think it was in Bangor, right? Because they had seen you at the Bangor Folk Fest, was it?
That was that was in 2010.
And it was like, we were there 10 years ago. The following that you all have acquired is incredible, and they're loyal and loving, and it's been amazing. What a decade. More to come.
Yeah.
More good music to come.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to do now?
Question. Do you feel like
Not really.
you could play something and Mary could play with you?
No. We've only got a few minutes.
Probably, yeah.
Just do like one. Well, you should tell me which tunes you're going to do. I'll play some banjo.
So rehearsed. So it's just 8:30. Should we didn't arrange anything for food.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we could do something quick. Sure. Oh, I don't care. The three of us? Or
It'll be the three of us.
oh, you're still here. No, it's great. I don't know. We can go for it. Why not? Yeah. It's meant to be loose, and unplanned, and we're nailing that. We're really nailing that.
What key do you think you'll play?
Who knows, really? How about G?
Yeah.
How do you feel about G?
Love G. Yeah.
Let's go with that.
I can tell. I'm a good follower.
You have space over there? Jeez, you're trapped.
So, that's all good. A big thanks to Ryan. This is Ryan McDonald, by the way, if you're not familiar with Ryan. He does a lot of our behind-the-scenes camera work and drives a lot to make these happen, whether it's at the college or wherever. And you were up to Shedda Camp last week for that, and then Baddeck was the week before, was it? Am I forgetting when?
You're in Baddeck now.
I think so.
Saucy. And then we'll keep them in suspense as to where next week will be, but we'll run those till the end of March on the road, and then hopefully back in person in April. So yes, a big thank you to the Brador Yacht Club here for having us. It's such a beautiful venue. And check out their Facebook page for more events coming up here and what's in store. I know there's trivia on Thursdays and fun stuff all the time. And then keep an eye out for these guys, and of course that album hitting the stores in July. And
That's the goal, I
that's
think.
the goal, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good goal. And if anyone wants to donate, we'll include a little donation link if you're so inclined. That's what keeps these rolling. Otherwise, we'll see you again next week. And thank you so much for coming out. Hopefully it got the chill out of your bones a little bit and makes for a good evening and good company. So.
I'm going to give Margie Beaton a shout out as well. She deserves a great big hand because she's absolutely wonderful. As she mentioned, we had the great fortune of touring around with Margie for, I think, like 3.5 weeks over Christmas, and she didn't run screaming away from us, which was a miracle in itself, I think.
It was the best.
But gosh, we had such a blast, and she does so much for the college as well. Gosh, she's on the go constantly, but she deserves always a great big shout out because she's just stellar.
You guys. Just saying.
You go ahead, Rach.
Oh, dear.
Thanks so much. Have a great night. Thanks again for coming out. We'll see you again.